Welcome to the Dating Unsettled show where we dare to date differently. We're going to talk about an unsettler request today. Why do I speak as if I've just come up out of the ground? Okay, today we're doing an unsettler request. For those of you who are unfamiliar, unsettler requests are where I answer the requests from you, unsettlers, because you me pregunta, you ask me questions, okay? So this one says, advice on building confidence when you have your first date. Oh, geez, that's fun. First dates are fun. It's okay to not be totally confident when you go into them. But first of all, congratulations on having a first date. First date's very nerve-wracking. Like, obviously, your brain, because you're nervous, your brain is like, I need to make a good impression. Let's not focus on making a good impression. Reorient yourself. Reorient, that's the reorient noise. So make sure when you look at the person, you go, reorient yourself towards evaluating them. Not like the police. Oh, this advice is not going on. Reorient yourself towards like making sure that you like how you feel when you're with this person and you like this person's vibe and are curious about them and want to get to know them. Okay. It's not a quiz. It's not meant for you to be grilling them with tough questions. It's not meant for you to be trauma dumping. I say this because I've done every wrong thing on a first date before. This is not a quiz. It's not an interrogation. It's not a trauma dump. It's not a measure up. You're not measuring dicks. You two are meeting and you're just trying to see if you have enough curiosity to continue. The stakes are very low. I want to remind you, like, every first date is not the end all be all. Every first date isn't the last date that you will ever have. Okay. This is just the first one. It's a meetup. It's a meet cute. You might feel insanely good about somebody during this first date and then not so hot the next. They might feel really good about you on the second date where they were unsure on the first. Like, you just never know how this is going to go. There's no perfect formula. Literally delete everything you've ever heard or read on the internet about like exactly how a first date is supposed to go. I think the only things that are necessary is that somebody shows up, that they're on time, that they're, or have a good excuse as to why they're not. They're respectful. They're attentive, and you two share some vibes. That's you share some vibes. And at the end of the first date, which I really like, that helps my anxiety, is like determining whether or not you want to go on the next one, you know, figure out whether or not it's your speed. It's natural to have a lot of first dates that don't even result in second dates. Don't count yourself out too soon if you feel like things aren't going well on the date. And also don't count the other person out, because you might be feeling, and you go home and you're like, actually, I really enjoy, so leave room for possibility. Okay. All right. So leave some room for possibility. But the first thing I would do to build confidence on a first date is, instead of dressing to impress the other person, and we actually have another unsettled request that's going to be about dressing. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that one. But instead of trying to dress to impress the other person, I would just go into making sure that you look presentable. You look like you put some kind of effort in. You didn't just roll up out of bed and show up to the date, but that you're not tap dancing. You're not trying to make this person see something that you don't normally look like. There's no need to go full glam or to go overboard with the makeup if you're not feeling like it, or if you wouldn't normally do that. I really like being myself and being comfortable. And I'm a you see what you get type of girl. Like, I would often say, he gonna get whatever come out this bonnet, which is a phrase that I read online that I love. If I am going on a date with you, you're gonna see me as I am. I often wear no makeup, so I might just go like super light. I might do like lip gloss, maybe a little concealer just for the pimples or whatever, and blush. That's it. I'm not doing full foundation face plus highlight, contour, gloss, and spray. I'm not doing all that for a first date. Don't waste the makeup. Don't waste the makeup. Do not overinvest on that first one. You don't even know if they are worth the setting powder. So don't set your makeup either. Just pull up. Okay, just pull up as you. And that should take a lot of pressure out of it. I feel like people get very wrapped up in terms of confidence and how they look. And when you're with your person, and I'm not saying that this first date is your person, but you want to start rehearsing and you want to start practicing in this vein, right? Because when you are with your person, you don't ever really want to be worrying about how you look or what you're wearing. I should hope not. I hope you're concerned, like, concerned citizen. I hope you are concerned about what you look like, but I hope you're not worried when you're finally in that situation. So all that to say, please don't overcomplicate it. Don't overdress, but also don't underdress. Yeah. Be cozy, be comfortable, wear minimal makeup, and appear as you are. If that gives you confidence, that's what I want you to do. Next is like, get ready in a way that's fun. To me, that would be blasting music, whether it's trap, whether I need to make myself a little hard. You know what I'm saying? If I was dating somebody that I felt like, oh my God, he's giving me like strong man vibes, like intense. I might need to pump myself up. I might need to hype myself up a little bit, play a little Migos before I go on. See what I said? Before I go on, like before I go on stage, make it a show. Hell, if you're not somebody who would normally do that, do it anyway. Blast music in your room or your space or your headphones, wherever you can, while you're getting ready. Get hype about it. Like, act like you are going out with your girls or your guys or your people, and you're pre-gaming and you're really like making it a thing. I would not recommend drinking. Some people be like, oh, take a shot or like drink some wine before your date and that'll help you unwind. No. I think that there's time to have a little drink if you like on the first date. I try to avoid alcohol. For you, if you're trying to build confidence, you want to build it intrinsically, right? You don't want to be extrinsically motivated around your confidence on a date. You don't want your confidence to come from a substance, because then you will always rely on that substance to feel confident in this situation or around this person. That's unsettling. So don't do it. Find the confidence inside. And ultimately, let me just do a little check here, because we're going through a checklist of getting ready. But if you're getting ready, Unsettler, and you're like, okay, wait, something's off. You've done your normal confidence stuff. You've done the things that make you feel good and great and glamorous, but you're still not feeling ready. Make sure it's not them. Make sure it's not your date. Make sure it's not something that they said, something that they are, a place that you're going that's making you feel that way. Your first dates should be in public. God, I cannot stress that enough. But a great way to build up confidence is to have other stimuli around you on that first date. So if he asks you, hey, do you want to come to my place, for example? Or she's like, yeah, do you want to, meet at this private blah, blah, blah. For a first date, I would not be alone with somebody. No, ma'am, no ham. That's not how I like to spend my very first date, because not only is it unsafe, you don't know them, but it's also a lot of pressure to only speak like, directly into each other's eyes. And like, there's almost nothing else that you can do or look at or blah, blah, blah without seeming like evasive and shady. However, if you go to a boardwalk, if you go to a fair, if you go to a farmer's market, if you go to a park, if you go to the movie, you go to a restaurant, anything, there's always other little things that you can touch on and comment on to make yourself more confident and more comfortable. And there's a place that you can kind of like go to literally be alone, and not just for safety, but for, boosting purposes. Like if you're at a restaurant, you can dash into the bathroom, find a mirror, kind of gas yourself up. I remember I was on a date at a Japanese restaurant, and I was in the bathroom, and this lady was like, how old are you? Like a black lady. So of course I wasn't offended. I was like, oh, I'm 20, whatever I was. And she's like, no way. You don't look a day over. She said maybe 22 or something. And not that like I'm of an age where I need to be told that I look younger in order to build my confidence. That's suspicious. That's unsettling. I'm not like quote unquote at that age, but it did make me feel nice that like this lady is gassing me up, in the bathroom on my date. And it kind of just gave me a moment away from my date who like I honestly thought was super cute and fun. So having those nerves, I didn't have to just like deal with all of them in front of my date. I could kind of just like run to the side. If you need to take a break during any point in your date, whether that's bathroom, checkup, make sure there's not anything in your teeth, take that break, girl. Do it. Take the break. Don't feel pressured to spend every single living second of the date with your date. Even if that's walking back to your car to grab something, even if that's going to the trash can, just having the briefest moment. I'm not talking about 30 minutes, but the briefest like 5 minutes of collecting yourself and like seeing how you feel about this date away from your date, I think can be really helpful to build your confidence. Okay. Next would be like, you can also talk to your date about this whole thing. So if you do feel like a little nervous, I wouldn't communicate or project insecurity to your date, because that can be weird before they really know you. But if it's a first date and you're feeling like excited or jittery or blah, blah, blah. I think I even told one of my dates, it was my first date. It was a picnic, and I was just rushing. I spilled my water bottle all over myself. I think I managed to like find a way for it to dry up, or like the heat of the car or whatever it was. But I let them know. I was like, hey, on the way here, I spilled my entire water bottle. And that was like a funny way to start the date, So don't be afraid to be human. Spilling a water bottle is not insecurity, If you say something to your date like, well, I don't know if you're going to like me. I'd be like, yo, why wouldn't I like you? there's no need to share insecurity. It's okay to feel insecurity, but with your date, it's okay to share goofs and mess ups and quirks and just the things that make you you and the things that are funny about how you got to that date. Literally, you can make comments about, don't speak on it way too long because that'll drag into the date, but like you can make comments about what it was like to find parking or something funny that you saw on the way over here, or when you were picking your outfit, you were between, you all saw a little when you're picking your outfit and you were between this and this, how you were like thinking of something they said or blah, blah, blah. You know, you can make it fun and you can bring in getting ready for the date, whatever your own personality is. Some people, when they're nervous, start cracking jokes. Am I one of those people? That's unsettling. I don't know. But if that's not you, if it's not in you to like crack jokes and be funny, you don't have to do that. Just be you, baby. I would say to think about a couple things that you're curious about. I think that sometimes girls who are, why is the camera moving? I don't like that. Come back. I think sometimes girls who are used to being taken out don't lift fingers to also be an active part of creating an interesting dating experience. And I don't want that to be you, Unsettler. I don't want you to get to this point where you're like, yep, I just need to be prim and pampered and blah, 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 blah. And then you arrive to the date and you have nothing to talk to this person about because you just expected to be like taken on a journey. Look, if that's how you show up to everyday conversations in life, then by all means, don't let me change your mind. But if you're the type of person who believes in like, I don't know, putting in a little effort, shoot, Google this person, watch their most recent project, read an excerpt from a book that they wrote. If they said that they're a huge fan of this anime, watch episode 1 and then come back and then on the date be like, yeah, actually, because you have that in your profile, I tried it. Do you know how far that goes with somebody? Just doing I hate to say it's like a job interview, but just doing the slightest bit of research on somebody to show that you're interested in that person. Oh, I'm smiling because I remember how fun it was to kind of like look people up, you know, and see if you could figure out like interesting facts about them. So yeah, just you don't have to stalk. You don't have to stalk. Just a light stalking. A light corn stalking, if you will. Yeah. And then bring it up on the date. That'll be cute. And then at the end of the day, I think what should really help you with your confidence is, again, just remembering low stakes. There's no pressure for this to absolutely turn into a relationship. This person is not better than you. This person is not, even if they've been on more dates, they're not a more qualified dater than you. I think sometimes when we see the qualities of all the things we think we want in a partner in that dating app match, and then we finally get the date with that person, we feel like they're almost doing us a favor, and that hits our confidence. Like, oh, is he really into girls like me? You know, is she really into me? Does he really like me? Or are they just blah, blah, blah? Are they just bored? Blah, blah. And we get so deep into our own heads and we project so much onto the other person and we let it tear away at our confidence. Why do we do that? Because we're human. Aw. But you're human, I'm human, they're human. And at the end of the day, it's just a date. It's just a meetup. It's a time for you to feel like celebrate being alive, celebrate being single. You're single, they're single. You can talk about dating, not too much, but like to me, that's how to build your confidence. Remember that you're you and they're them. They cannot take anything away from you. They are not better than you. You don't need to impress them. This isn't a competition. Some of you get competitive with your dates. I talked about that on a previous episode. This isn't for you to be in competition with your date based on the traits and the interests that they put on their profile and the traits and interests that you put on your profile. And now you guys are meeting it up to duke it out. It's not that. You are two beautiful, single, fine individuals who are vibing. Okay? Let me know how that first date goes, Unsettlers. And you can listen to Dating Unsettled everywhere podcasts are found and all that good stuff. But I'm loving these Unsettler requests. This gives me a chance on the podcast to just speak about things that I know are important to you because you're asking me directly. And when I see you apply the advice, even though this is not an advice podcast, y'all keep taking me there. But when I see you apply it in your dating lives and then come back and report the success, I'm mind blown. Not only that I could have that type of impact, but that the internet works that way. I'm inspiring some of y'all or many of y'all to date differently. And that's why I get up in the morning. Ugh, I just got chills thinking about it. It's very funny. It's very cool. Okay. All right. So yeah, keep dating, Unsettlers, and enjoy those first dates. Have a lot of fun. The confidence is inside you. It's not from what you put on. It's not from what you buy. It's not even really about where you are. It's about who you are and remembering that on this date. All right. Have fun.